You're welcome to this edition of the Power Circuit. This program is specially packaged by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, to enlighten you about what this power utility company does. This program further gives you a spotlight on the focal areas of the Honorable Minister of Power being implemented to bring you improved access to electricity. The headlines. Minister lauds NEMCO for clinching gold level award on excellent service delivery. TCN management team joins other African power utility firms to advance regional electricity access. TCN officials inspect 2x60 MVA transmission project being built by the Kaduna State Government. Abuja's Kukuaba transmission substation 7 bulk power 3 years after debut. Please follow through on this program for your viewing delight. I am Chinwenwa Anyanwu. This is Minister's Desk. In today's edition, we bring you a highlight of the recent visit of the Minister of Power, Engineer Salim Maman, to the 132 kilovolts Gagarawa Power Transmission Substation in Jigawa State, built and energized by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. Addressing newsmen after inspecting the completed 2x60 MVA 132-33 kilovolts Gagarawa substation project, along with the Managing Director and CEO of TCN, Engineer Maman, directed contractors handling power projects nationwide to return to sites as the COVID-19 prevention lockdown by the federal government is being relaxed.
Well, it is affecting not only the power project, the whole sector, everything is affected. But now that it has been relaxed, and we are happy to announce to you that we are back to the site and we are going to continue. And I also want to use this opportunity to urge the contractors, all power contractors, to come back to the site and so that they can deliver.
The completion of power projects nationwide to boost electricity supply is part of the focal points of this administration. And you have just heard from the Power Minister as he recently took a strategic decision to deliver on this mandate. The Power Circuit will bring you more of this in more editions of the program. Minister of Power, Engineer Salim Maman, has lauded the Nigerian Electricity Liability Management Company, NEMCO, for clinching a gold level award from the Bureau of Public Service Reforms after it scored over 86% on the assessment of its operations and liabilities management. Our reporter completes the story.
Speaking at the agency's office during the presentation of the report on self-assessment tool, SAT, of the BPSR, Engineer Maman, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Power, D.D. Wilson Jack, commended the Power Agency for the feat.
To say I am happy to be here is an understatement. I'm so glad that I came. But let me start by giving you the very warm greetings from the Honorable Minister of Power, Engineer Salim Maman, who would have loved to be here. And I'm glad to note that NEMCO is the first agency that presented itself for this assessment. We of the Ministry of Power are very proud of this. We are proud of NEMCO. And I'd like to, at this point, say, Mr. DG, sir, we are looking forward to your hastening the process for the deployment of the SAT to our other agencies.
The minister also said the NEMCO management had done well to subject the agency to the self-assessment tool and came out stronger.
NEMCO has successfully deployed the BPSR SAT, a laudable achievement which illustrates NEMCO's commitment to continued improvement in management and good governance practices. It is indeed our delight that an agency of the Federal Ministry of Power has received today the gold level certificate.
The Director General of BPSR, Mr. D.I. Arabi, who presented the assessment report, said the federal government introduced the tool to enable agencies understand their strengths and weaknesses and improve their performance.
I've noted the most critical organizational goals are met as at when due. It is our pleasure to award gold level award to NEMCO. We are of the view that if faithfully implemented, the recommendations in this report will contribute towards making your agency one of the best in the country and a pocket of excellence that will need the Nigerian public service to be among the first 20 by the year 2025.
The Managing Director of NEMCO, Mr. Adebayo Fagbemi, said NEMCO was the first of the agencies in the sector to subject itself to the self-assessment through a rigorous process.
When the BPSR, arising from a circular that was circulated in December, were asked that agencies to subject themselves to the self-assessment tool, we decided to make ourselves available to that tool.
Fagbemi thanked President Muhammadu Buhari, the Minister of Power, and other critical stakeholders for giving NEMCO support in delivering on its mandates. He said the agency has secured approval for 4-year forecast to clear all liabilities by 2022 to end its operations.
We've also done a 4-year forecast, which we've also forwarded to the government as to when NEMCO can close its shop. With the underlying assumptions we put in place, we are hoping, unless government gives us additional work to do, by 2022 NEMCO is off the radar, because it's a special purpose vehicle that was established. We are not supposed to be permanent. And we've done that forecast and we've gotten the approval of the Federal Ministry of Power in that regard.
With the proper management of the liabilities, Fagbemi said there were no complaints from the power firms about PHCN liabilities affecting their operations.
Rather than our liabilities increasing, we've been able to manage it because of different methodology that were put in place. And I also want to say that we've been able to save for the federal government of Nigeria 89 billion naira. We've also been able to save an additional 1.8 billion naira by reason of the strategy that we put in place. So when you add them up together, we've saved the federal government of Nigeria almost about 92 billion naira by reason of the triangular verification model which we put in place.
It is our honor and privilege to hand over this legacy. Congratulations, Mr.
The management team of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, led by the Managing Director and CEO, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, has joined the Secretary General of the West African Power Pool, WAP, Mr. Ki Sengui, and the heads of other power utility firms of member countries to hold the third virtual meeting of the Joint Supervision Committee, JSC, on the North Core project. The North Core project seeks to interconnect Nigeria with republics of Benin, Niger, and Burkina Faso to improve electricity supply services of the countries.
The North Core project seeks to interconnect Nigeria with the republics of Benin, Niger, and Burkina Faso through a 330 kilovolts transmission line to improve electricity supply services of the countries. From the TCN corporate headquarters in Abuja, the TCN team actively participated in the virtual meeting along with officials of the Nigerian Federal Ministry of Power. The Joint Supervision Committee, JSC, on the North Core project consists of heads of the power utility firms of the countries and the representatives of their ministries of energy and Finance. Members of the committee welcomed the acting managing director of TCN, Engineer Abdulaziz, who was joining the meeting for the first time. At the meeting, participants worked to deliver strategies for the implementation of the projects and also to provide strategic frameworks with which the Minister of Energy of the benefiting countries, including Nigeria, would be working with. The Secretariat highlighted the scope of the North Core project. The WAP-driven project seeks to deliver about 896 kilometers of 330 kilovolt power transmission line that will run from Birnin Kebbi in Nigeria to Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso, through Zabori and Niamey in Niger Republic, with a tee-off to Malanville in Benin Republic. In a presentation, the director of the North Core Transmission Project, Engineer Meleli Jebre, gave the progress report of the North Core project, as well as a report on year 2019 activities. The financial report for the mid-year 2020 report was also presented by the WAP Secretary General, as members made general positive comments on the presentations. The participants agreed that steps towards executing the project stages should be accelerated to ensure that the North Core Power Transmission Project was delivered within the anticipated timeline.
We're bringing you more news reports after this commercial.
Verify that land before you buy it. To drastically reduce the incidence of building under the transmission right-of-way or encroaching on designated TCN land, members of the public are hereby requested to verify land near or along transmission line route before purchasing it. Verification should be made in the Land Development Authority or at the TCN office. This would help in drastically reducing the incidence of building under transmission line right-of-way and save us all the problem of pulling down the structure or truncating transmission line expansion projects in your community due to court injunction. Help us serve you better. Verify that land before you buy it.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, is poised to deliver more on power transmission projects nationwide. Last week, the acting managing director and chief executive officer of TCN, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, spoke about ongoing efforts to promote routine maintenance of power transmission lines and substations. In this edition, Engineer Abdulaziz re-echoes assurances of completing key transmission projects. Hear him speak about installing a 40 MVA mobile transformer at the 132-33 kilovolts transmission substation in Bichi local government area of Kano State.
And we promise you, once the place of the transformer is ready, we are going to bring the transformer. And once the transformer is here, less than 3 months, we are going to complete that project. And by the time we complete that project, almost 7 local governments are going to benefit from that project. And they are going to have steady power supply.
Officials of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, have inspected a 2x60 MVA power transmission substation project being built by the Kaduna State government towards connecting it to the national power transmission grid.
The Regional Transmission Manager, RTM, of the Kaduna region of TCN, Engineer Aminu Haruna, said TCN had inspected the state-owned 132 kilovolts substation along the Kaduna to Jos Road to connect it to the national grid.
TCN, as you know, is the provider of 122 kV supply. So we have inspected the substation. Now we are carrying out inspection to find the exact location where they will tee off to the newly constructed substation. We want to connect them to one of the existing 122 kV line that terminates at Jaji, which is being used by distribution now is on 33 kV. But with the coming up of this substation, definitely we are going to take that line and use it on 122 kV to supply the newly constructed 2x60 MVA 122 kV substation by Kaduna State Government.
The Kaduna RTM said the TCN officials had also completed inspection of the proposed transmission line route to connect the substation to TCN.
We have inspected the progress work, and now we have inspected the site they are going to tee off. We are now waiting for their contractor to finalize the contract for the construction of lines from the tee-off point to the substation, after which they will submit TCN with their proposal, and we will now look at it to make sure that it satisfies the TCN requirement. So that is what we are here for.
The Assistant General Manager Design, Standard and Specification at the TCN headquarters in Abuja, Engineer Bukar Isa, who spoke at the inspection works on the project site at Maraban Jos in Kaduna State, explained that TCN was invited to assess the 122 kilovolts 2x60 MVA power transmission substation project at the Kaduna Green Economy Zone on the instance of Skipper Bay Consortium, the engineering firm for the project, and the Kaduna State government. He also noted the fieldwork was to enable the TCN engineers decide which point Skipper can connect the new substation to the national power grid through the transmission towers belonging to TCN. Speaking on the impact of the substation in the state, the TCN officials said it was primarily to improve power supply for the Green Economy Zone in Kaduna State to boost industrialization.
Kaduna State government has taken a bold decision to construct so that whatever industry is built in that area will not be interrupted, because these two transformers will be dedicated to supply the green economic zone. So we have already met, we have already seen what they have done in the substation, which is in order. They have followed TCN specifications. It is now left for them to start the bidding process for the transmission line so that they can award it and finish the transmission line concurrently with the substation.
The managing director of the Kaduna Power Supply Company, CAPSCO, and project manager for the transmission substation, Dolapo Popola, said the state government was taking the project as a top priority and was at 70% completion level.
And the Kaduna State government has invested a lot of money into building this project, and which is about 70% completion. We're here today with team members from the Transmission Company of Nigeria because we're working with them as well as the Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company to ensure that once the substation has been completed, that is connected successfully to the national grid. Engineer
Idowu Oyebanjo, who is the special assistant to the MD of CAPSCO at the 330 kilovolts power transmission line route, said the TCN transmission tower where the substation will be connected to was identified by the team from TCN and the project contractor.
Transmission Company of Nigeria is an essential part of our plan as we have to connect our 2x60 MVA to the national grid. We are proud to have the TCN team with us. They have given us support and ideas on how to progress with the work, and we are so satisfied. Here, we have come to the location of the possible tower connection, and it's about tower number 89 of TCN from the line from So we are really excited at this opportunity, and we hope to have a timely completion of this project.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria has an array of power transmission substations within the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. We have brought you reports on some of them that include the Akpo, Karu, Kubwa, Katampe, and of course, Gwagwalada substation. The power circuit crew toured yet another critical substation, and that is the 132-33 kilovolts Kukuaba power transmission substation in Abuja. Here are the sights and sound of one of the newest and sophisticated TCN facilities. It has operated successfully 3 years after it was commissioned.
From the switchyards to the transformers and to the control room, The 2x60 MVA 132-33 kV Kokwaba transmission substation in Abuja stand out clearly to provide bulk power to its assigned coverage area. The power circuit spoke with the senior manager, system operations and station manager, engineer Isaac O. Onu, in the control room of one of the substations.
The station is exactly 3 years old now. It was commissioned precisely on the 10th of July 2017. The capacity of this substation in terms of megawatts is about 108 megawatts, taking our power factor of 0.9.
The substation, whose capacity is 2x60 MVA, has been dedicated to wheeling bulk power supply for onward supply across distribution load centers in areas like the Edo Industrial Estates, Abuja's Game Village, Sun City Estates, Lugbe, among others. The Kokwaba substation is designed to take in any expansion needs of the capital city, especially as industrialization activities intensify. It has a span switchyard with space for installing more power transformers.
We have a provision for additional 2x100 MVA substation.
Although it is a state-of-the-art substation, the station manager said TCN was not resting on implementing the design maintenance schedule for the facility.
Our maintenance crew, AMD and PCM, they are very, very okay, and they are very prompt as touching maintenance activities. Like for instance, we just had our annual maintenance last weekend. Two transformers were maintained okay, and their response to maintenance activity is very, very swift and fast. I think I can give them an excellent grade as touching the issue of rapid response to fault clearing on our system.
Beside the prompt maintenance culture instituted by the TCM management for the substation, safety is another paramount focus for power utility company.
In terms of safety measures, as you can see, at least we provided with safety kits by the management of TCN.
Despite the disruption in economic activities caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, TCN had ensured the substation continually operates at its optimal capacity.
Throughout the COVID-19 period, the lockdown period, I think we delivered maximum power to our customer 24/7. There was no interruption. We ensured that at least all the customers and every user enjoy steady supply of electricity.
That's all we've got on this edition. But before we leave, here is a recap on today's edition. The Minister of Power, Engineer Saleh Maman, has lauded the Nigerian Electricity Liability Management Company, NEMCO, for clinching a gold-level award for sound operations. The management team of TCN, led by the Managing Director and CEO, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, joined other heads of African power utility firms at a virtual meeting of the Joint Supervision Committee, JSC, on the North Core project of the West African Power Pool. We also brought you the sights and sounds of Abuja's Kokwaba transmission substation, which is one of the newest additions to TCN facilities. Let's meet you next week on the Power Circuit. You can view this episode and subsequent ones on TCN YouTube channel. You can always interact with us on these platforms, so you can support TCN in advancing its mandate. Coronavirus is real. Tens of thousands have died around the world. Wouldn't you rather stay safe? Observe the NCDC guidelines and do not ignore them. Please stay safe and stay alive. I am Chinwenwa Anyanwu. See you next week.